Up next on Hey Cuz Podcast, we sit down with Neiko Flowers. With over 15 years in radio and TV, Neiko Flowers is a force in faith-based media. Assistant Program Director at Atlanta's Praise 102.5, he's also a Gospel Music Hall of Famer, devoted husband and father. And now he sits down with me to talk about family and his powerful new book. Family, please welcome to Hey Cuz Podcast, Neiko Flowers. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hey Cuz Podcast. I am your host, Olivia J, and this is your favorite Cuzcast, where you're either a real cousin or a play cousin. And today we have Neiko Flowers. What's up, Neiko?
What's up, cousin?
Welcome, cuz. We'll reveal in the end whether you're a real cousin or a play cousin. But I will tell you this. Y'all. I called Neiko and then I inboxed Neiko and then I called him, and it was like he wasn't getting back with me in time enough because, I kind of felt a sense of urgency. And then I did the next thing that, family or play family does. I'm going to call your mama if you don't call me back.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
But no, I didn't have to call his mom. But he did call me back. What's up, Neiko? Welcome to Hey Cuz Podcast.
What's up, Olivia? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I won't complain for a woman with a teenager still.
I know that's right.
Waiting for that frontal lobe to fully develop, but it's all good. And you have little ones. Tell me what's going on with the little ones right now.
Keeping us busy. They're 11, so twins, boy and girl, Judah and Nikoi. Are at that age where I just heard somebody else say earlier about they was like, I can't wait to be a parent and be a soccer mom. I was like, all right,
okay.
And when them jokers have you running all around town, soccer games here, piano lessons there, swimming lessons, and all these things, and you still have your regular life,
right?
But, it is a blessing. It's so crazy that I'm finally at this era and this point in my life. I can remember being their age, and now I'm like, all right, do they got practice today? Like, are they missing anything? Making sure that homework is good, all of that. So
right,
regardless of whatever I do, who I speak to, what I do professionally, they just see me as dad, So
right.
That's pretty cool. So I'm at all the pull-ups and the meetings and all that stuff. So
yes. With your wife Janisse, you guys are such a beautiful couple. I just recently saw a picture that you all posted up on your anniversary. I was like, oh, this is fire right here.
Yeah.
How about I downloaded and saved it on my phone? Family photos.
You better do
right
that.
Here, right?
Yeah. Listen, I had some family members like, my siblings like, you got to send more pictures. I was like, yo, we got so much. They call me extra, but
it's okay to be an extra, especially being in Atlanta. All y'all extra in Atlanta. Yeah, I'm telling you, everything Atlanta does is Absolutely. Big. I'll say less about that, but the thing is it's okay to be extra, especially with the kids. And Janisse, you all have done a beautiful job segueing, Believers with Balance and sharing your story and your life with the rest of us. And so I have a question that I want to ask just personally about that, because my husband and I have worked together for 27 years in the barbering business. And people say, oh, I couldn't work with my husband. I'm like, okay, that's you, boo. Yeah, exactly. We're different. Yeah. Everybody's different. And so, there are always going to be challenges working with your spouse, but it's not necessarily what people may think that they are. You go through things together, whether you're celebrating or having, a pity party. But in media, I would imagine that would be totally different. My husband does not want to be in front of the camera. He will be at some point. That's a whole nother segment because he's so comical. But how does the family dynamic work with media when both of you are putting your family business, so to speak, out there? And how has that been received by your extended family?
Well, for us, obviously I was the person that pulled her in.
Okay.
Like your husband, she was kind of tugging and fighting and kicking and screaming, you know what I mean? And When it came to, I was looking for a co-host. I was like, you know what, who makes more better sense than the person that I talk to the most, the person that knows me. So it would be natural, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to have to do that. So it took some time for her to kind of, it was like teaching somebody who's never done it before, but it was your spouse. So you had to be gentle and
You have to use the right words.
And patient,
Right.
and patient and absolutely use the right word. So that was really good. She did it. She got the hang of it. And I thought she did a phenomenal job. It wasn't always easy because I'm her biggest fan. Like, my mom is my biggest fan. I'm her
Oh
biggest fan.
yeah, I was gonna mention that. She is the
Oh
biggest
yeah,
fan you have, other than
exactly.
God.
Yes,
God and your
yeah.
mama.
I'm her biggest fan, so sometimes I could be a little tough on her, but it's
Okay.
love, you know what I mean? And so this was actually flipped because where she would normally hear me on the radio and do all these things, now she was a part of it. So now she would have like, well, I don't like that story, or can I say it like this, or why you say it like that? And I'd be like, this is what I do, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Listen, I have to tell you something. I grabbed my husband's clippers one day and he was a whole nother soul.
You step into his world now,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
we
yep.
both barber. Okay.
Oh,
It's
see,
like,
see,
I just needed to use your clippers for a minute, but it was a
and it's
whole thing.
and it's a whole thing. So it takes balance, it takes compromise, it takes all the things that make a successful marriage.
Right.
Um, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody because some people can't translate and carry over that relationship from your work relationship. You know what I mean? So
Eh,
it's not for everybody, but we made it work. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it came across genuine, and I think that's what we wanted. And now the kids are at the age where our son, he loves acting. He that's what he wants to do with his life. My daughter is
Oh,
a artist. She's really, really, really talented in art, and I mean, she could sit in her room and just be by herself and just art. She'll take a box. Like, we have this thing where anytime we get something new, Amazon stuff, that's my wife's biggest, you know. Uh,
your wife's best
anytime we
friend.
get
My
Amazon
husband, that's
boxes,
my husband's best friend. He posted one day that he thought he needed to go to an AA meeting.
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
And then he said, I think I'm having an affair with Amazon. I'm like, too
Can you
much.
use it? Because if you can use it, that happens a lot in our household. She'll get stuff, and she like little things, like little, not only say techie things, but little stuff around the house that you can use, like kitchen stuff, like little handheld vacuums and stuff like that.
Oh, I
I'm like,
love it.
what? I never knew I needed this until we had it. So thank you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, so, but no, it's been really good. It's been really good. The kids get to watch us do our thing and to watch me, and I think that's very important. They've been a part of this journey since they
Mhm.
were been able to walk. But
Yeah.
when they were smaller, I would get them to come. They actually walked on live television.
Real.
I was doing
Wow.
entertainment news in Charlotte on Fox. I never forget. I looked out the corner of my eye,
And they were
and they
walking.
loved the news anchor there. They love, to this day,
Oh.
she still keeps in contact with us. It's a sister, and they loved her. Her name was Felicia. She's amazing, and I guess they got excited, and so during the
And they
segment,
just took off
live
walking.
television just walked on TV,
I
and
love
I'm
it.
and my eyes getting big because I'm like, oh Lord, they're coming, they're coming. But so they're used to it. They've been doing it for a while. They see me, they hear me all the time. They are not phased at all. I try to
I
get them excited about stuff. They be like, okay, yeah, that's daddy.
Yeah, because you're excited all the time
Yes.
and you have it honest. Question. What was the most challenging part for you when you finally got her, when Janisse finally felt comfortable being in that space?
Ooh.
What was the
That
most
was,
challenging thing that you guys had to share together that you
mm.
found?
Well, ironically, I think before we started the show, I think we were very intentional about that. We knew that that was going to be the way that we can help people, if you will. And so,
Mm.
um, to be really honest, I
So it
was,
was like therapy before the
yeah,
therapy was
absolutely,
needed. Because
absolutely.
when you're doing marriage ministry, which my husband and I have done, a lot of times there are things that what you're giving away are nuggets that you actually can keep some of too for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely therapy. for us. And for me, to be quite honest with you, we had this conversation the other day. I was the one that was more guarded, more, I wasn't as transparent. And I remember us having a conversation and saying that we have to be more transparent. We have to, we got to connect to people. And so
right, because people can pick up on when it's not real.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was her that kind of pulled that out of me. It was definitely her that pulled that out of me and made me become more vulnerable, if you will. And so with that, I think once I started, I didn't know how to stop. I was like, oh, what else y'all
Tell
want to
everything.
know? What else y'all want to know? You know what I mean? Because and I tell people, and that's why I'm so excited for this new season of my life, because there is so much freedom in being vulnerable.
Right. And you've written a book. So
yes. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that book. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I thought we were going to be talking about radio.
No, you're good.
No, I really thought that we were going to talk about family, but tell me about this book that you've just written. Give us the title of it. And I love that shirt. God's plan was better. Isn't that the truth?
It was. And these are my colors too. I love these colors. The book is called My Hurt, Your Heal. And the book is about my life, and it is somebody asked me the other day, said, well, you're still young, why'd you write a book about your life? Well, I said, well, because I wrote it up to this
because
point.
Jesus died at 33.
Really,
you
know how we are. It was one of us for sure. And I said, because there's things that I've been through, things that I've lived through, that I want to talk about. I want to put out there, because God told me that in order to evolve, you need to reveal. And I was like, okay. And so a lot of people don't know, but I was going through a lot of counseling, a lot of therapy, all of that stuff, right? My entire household has counselors. I have one. My wife has one. Our kids have one. And then my wife and I have a joint one as well. So we take that very serious, mental health and all that stuff. But
of course,
I was going through some things that I wasn't comfortable with telling and bringing to the light. And so God had put it on me. He said, I really want I put you in this position because for me, I always thought that me being in radio was for me to talk about music, for me to, talk to the people and chit chat and have fun and all that.
Wait a minute, not my phone ringing and me not putting it on silent.
Oh, it's okay. Cause I'm like, well, dang, somebody called us at the same time. Cause somebody, dang.
The nanobots are paying attention. We're gonna get to this book. Go ahead on, brother. Finish telling me.
No, they good. That's good. And with this book, I really became my most vulnerable self. And I'm proud of the book because I truly believe that it has given me a new purpose in life. And it made the full circle of, I now understand why God gave me the platform to be in radio. Because for years I thought it was because you just wanted, I love music. Okay, great.
Yeah.
You love people. So talk to people. But now God is like, no, I gave you all those networks, all that platform, so you could talk about something bigger, something that can help people. So we talk about it all in the book. I'm talking everything. I laid it out. It's not a long book, but it's very impactful. And I want to say this before I get off the book, but it comes out April 4th. And if I can be really honest, I have a little anxiety about it because, you can be like, I'll tell everybody until you have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Of course, because because we do have these we do have these perceptions that we have of others and that others have of us, and we want to maintain them.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some things that you just don't want to know about people because then you're like, oh, not him too, not her too.
Yeah.
I thought they were this way, and then you find out they were not that way, and then it just ruins your day.
Yeah.
And then it's the other way around. There are things about us that we don't want other people to know because they may see us I talked about this in one of my podcast episodes. Like, we were going through a rough time while I was still doing Out of Bondage, and it was like, how do I find the courage to encourage while I'm discouraged?
No, seriously. And for me, I work on this gospel station, and I'm like, man, I can't be up here talking to the people trying to inspire them, and I'm not whole. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So I took the necessary steps to heal myself. And I told God the name of the book title came from, I didn't want people to go through the hurt that I went through. And I finally just got to the heal. So I said, if I can help them get through the hurt and
Yeah.
get them to the heal, that is the purpose. So in this book, I was very transparent. One of the things that I talk about is that people are going to find out about is that when I was younger, I was sexually abused.
Okay.
And so I that is a huge thing that I just let my family know. Like literally, my mom found out around Christmas. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it was a process, but
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I tell people this book is not a pity book. This book is a
Right.
healing. It's
Right.
to show
Right.
you that if I overcame it, so can you.
It's your story. And
Absolutely.
I was actually interviewing someone recently, a woman who's coming on, and she had written a book, and you know, she was just sharing about how sometimes your family will react to your memoir in a way that you never expect. But at the end of the day, it's your story. It's not their story. It's your story. And so we just have to be willing to be loving, forgiving, compassionate, and understanding in all of
Amen.
our getting.
And that is good. I'm glad that
Understanding.
she said that because that is so true. That is so
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So,
So I won't get into that because I
mhm.
can only imagine, but I will say that I celebrate you in this moment that you had
Yeah,
the wherewithal to do that, that you
yeah,
felt inspired and that you moved on it. Because a lot of times we are given the same tasks by God, but some of us, we follow through, we perform the task, we get it done, and then others of us just sit around and don't do anything. And then at the end of the day, you get upset with someone who acted on it when
mhm.
they're thriving in that space.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't get
absolutely.
mad about that. You can't get
Yeah,
mad if you're sitting on an emotion that you didn't work out your salvation. I got you.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
completely
I
get it,
love
and
that.
I'm excited about it. And I want to tell us where we can get the book before we move on.
Yeah, absolutely. So the book will be available on April 4th, next Friday, and
Yes.
it's going to be available on Amazon. But I am ordering a ton of author books as well because I do know
Okay.
some people want they want the physical copy when they see me and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I will have those as well. But April 4th it'll be out, and out.
And will they be able to go to the Flowers to your website, or you would prefer that they just go ahead on Amazon and buy it there if they're
We
not going to
are
get it from
re
you in
we are
person?
literally redoing our website now. You know, my wife and I just had a conversation. We're redoing our website specifically for this. So
Okay.
once that happens, I'll get the information. But Amazon all the way. My hurt, your heal.
Okay. And just for the record, so that we can post it in the chat later on, we can pull it up. What is your website?
It is followingtheflowers.com.
That's right. So if you go there right now, you heard what the man said. They're working on the site. Do a U-turn.
Right,
Come
do a
back
U-turn.
later.
Come back later. We on lunch break.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this last question. And, you gave me so much more than I could even imagine. I thought I was going to have to pull this stuff out of you,
Oh no,
but
no.
I'm so glad. I think that your mama will be so proud that we finally got together. I have to tell you, the last time I was in Atlanta last month, she was like, did you see Neiko? Did you call Neiko? I'm like, every time.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
remember that time we were at the cookout at my aunt's house and
Yes,
she
and
made me
she
take
put
a
you on the
picture with my
phone.
phone and send it to
Yes,
you. Send this picture of
yes.
us to Neiko. I was
Oh
like, I hadn't taken
Lord,
it yet. And
listen.
she's like, you just took it.
Yes,
It's like,
yes. Thank you
okay.
for that.
She's
Yes,
precious. I love her. But we call her Aunt Linda in this
yeah,
house.
yes.
Just so you know. So, what do you like? What do you love most about your job? Because radio has evolved over the last 15 years. It's evolved over the last 20. Ken Johnson and I were just talking about that. What have you seen in terms of its evolution, and what do you think are some takeaways from where you think things are headed? Because you're in it now.
Yeah,
You're still
yeah,
in it. He's kind of, he consults a station, but you're still
right.
there in the midst.
Yeah. So, um, I sometimes I have my thoughts about like I was like I probably a couple years ago I was like, how is this going to work out? With all the
Mhm.
streaming platforms and everything coming along.
Right.
But then
Hmm.
podcasts just blew up, and it's
Mm.
so. it reminded you that people still love to talk. People
Mm-hmm.
still love to communicate with each other and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's a good
People still
thing.
love, yeah, and that's a great thing, right? But people also love to hear music, even if they're getting their music from different places. You know, back in the
Right.
day, you used to call up their radio station and can I request this? Can I play that? You used to sit beside the radio and just wait
But
with a tape player.
as a musician, I want to urge people to please buy the music, because let me tell you, I did not know that an artist could get half of a penny for a stream.
Yeah. Half a penny.
You're streaming
That's
music
so
for like
many.
10 years. You're like $12.
Right.
I mean, for
Hey,
real,
that's all. Yeah,
buy
exactly.
musician merchandise. You know, this is not an endorsement for me, but yes,
Yeah.
buy musician merchandise, especially independent artists. You know, the
Right.
streaming platforms are actually, I do like them. So I'll say a little bit less about it, but I do
Yeah.
like streaming platforms.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah. For
lie.
sure. For sure. I think for us, like I see right now, and I tell people this all the time, radio to me used to be you come, you do an interview, is for your music. Now when you come to do an interview in radio, it's like you got cameras in your face. You do
Mm-hmm.
not only stuff for for people can listen in their car, but now you're doing stuff so
Mm-hmm.
they can see you on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. It's like it's a multimedia business now
And
where you would just come, yeah.
being a personality from where you transition from, it was really a selfless thing. Even though people see you in the forefront, a lot of times they hear you, they never know what you look like. But now it's the whole package. And
Hmm.
from an entertainer's standpoint, it's a wonderful thing, because now you get to
Absolutely.
connect all of the dots.
Yeah.
But this session here that we were doing, one of the reasons I did want to interview you, Neiko, was because I know that you're out there. I know that you and Janisse are out there doing all the things and helping all the people in the ways that you do. But whoever really asks about you, whoever really talks to you, interview you, and congratulations on the Hall of Fame. I think that was that's an honor, because God gives the promotion. Lord knows, stop fighting for
Yeah.
position, y'all. Just stop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wanted for you to have this space to just do you and talk about
Yeah.
yourself without it
Yeah.
being a TM blah blah blah. Don't want to mention people. You have to be so
Right.
careful
Right.
now. But you've been in those great spaces, but just to sit down and have a cup of conversation was
Yeah.
was a good thing for me today, and I appreciate that, because I just wanted
Yeah.
to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is good. And it's so funny you say that because literally I told somebody, I said, I have an interview at 4 o'clock. They was like, oh, I said,
Who are
well,
you
I'm
interviewing?
actually being interviewed. And I said it's different because I literally had to do an interview, or I was the interviewee earlier. So I said
Mhm.
it's different for me, but it's something that I'm getting accustomed to in this new era, in this new season of my life, which I'm excited about because a couple of years ago, um, I attended an award show that was called Black Media Honors,
Okay.
and I thought it was really cool because I was like, wow, that's really cool that you're honoring the people in media.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And because a lot of times, we're waiting for the celebrity to stop by, the author, the actresses, but we're the ones that get to talk to. So that's pretty cool.
And as a person that's in radio still, someone comes up to you like, here's my CD. When you gonna put me on? It's very humbling for you as an artist to be on the other side of the artistry, because then you see what you look like. And
Yes.
it's not a very nice
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
Humility is something that we as musicians always have to work toward a
Yeah.
goal to make sure that we maintain, because it's real
Right.
easy to not even think about the person that's putting you on and how many people they've got coming, for them to do that. But just, have a conversation, be authentic. I will go back and say something here. When you were talking about podcasts blowing up, when you hear about podcasts now and how popular they are, and of course I wanted to do a little research before starting Hey Cuz, I found it interesting that they're saying now that the most successful podcasts are the ones that are authentic.
Yes.
I'm like, well, how else can you be?
Yeah.
Like AI generated podcasts are not the ones that are. It's like we go
Yeah.
all the way forward to have to go back and rewind. There's a lady I listen to named Joyce Meyer, and she says, you know, we live life forward, but we understand it backwards. And I love that expression because that's the new twist on hindsight is 2020. It's like, it feels like we're having hindsight again with the podcasting. It's like you said, it's still conversations, it's still broadcasting, it's still relevant.
Yeah.
And still community, hopefully. So,
absolutely.
Well, you are, you've already been extended family, but you are really extended family now on Hey Cuz podcast. I know you've got to run. I know your time is so valuable, because you're a parent.
Above everything else, you know?
Above everything else, you have tweens.
Yeah, I know, right? I like that, tweens.
That's what they call them, preteens. They go from, you know, Dora the Explorer to lashes and makeup and I mean, you know, for your daughter, if that's what she, you know, so chooses to do, but it happens so quickly, and before you know it, they don't want to be bothered. They like this.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And I'm such a hands-on dad. So I love all the little things. I'm so extra with my kids. I'm so extra.
It's okay. That's how my husband was.
And kissing and wrestling my son, and I'll be the person that be like, go to Walmart and be like, let me go get a slip and slide for the backyard so we could just be like big kids, you know, random things.
You know why? And we'll find out in your book. Because you know the cost.
Amen.
You know the cost if you don't do it.
Amen. That's it.
Been there.
Yep.
Been there as a young person. Understand it very much.
Yeah.
And so I just want to thank you so much, Neiko. And I hope that you'll come back at some point. We're going to have some panels, you know, not talking about anything too deep, but, or maybe, I don't know. What is deep anymore? You know, people do podcasting on all kinds of stuff because I like to build. I like tools and building. I mean, you know, you go in our shed and it's like, oh yeah, look at all these tools. It's like that's my skill saw.
Well, I know that's right. Oh, you sound like my wife. You sound like her.
That's my swivel jigsaw. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you know, and roles are so backwards too. I'll say this because I do a lot of the cooking in the house, right? I love to cook.
Oh my goodness.
To my mom because she taught me how to cook early. But my wife is
Shout out Aunt Linda.
That can daggone plug a hole. You know, I joke with her. I'd be like, I'll be the one in the kitchen.
Lay some floors.
Be the one on top of the roof.
Sand out some sheetrock. Right. But, you know, we have to put on pretty. And she does. And Janisse does that very well. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll let her know. Yes.
Yes. But hopefully I can get her on at a different moment in time where she can tell me where she can tell me the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, Neiko, for coming on Hey Cuz podcast. I'll just say what we always say. Until next time. Bye, cuz.
Bye, cuz. Hey, what's up, family? This is Neiko Flowers, and you are tuned into the one and only Hey Cuz podcast of my cousin, Sylvia J.
Thank you for joining this episode of the Hey Cuz podcast with me, your host, Olivia J. I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to post your comments. We'd love to hear from you.